Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're a wedding photographer, this is an exciting video for you. I'm going to be talking about onboarding clients, which I've not talked about in this YouTube channel before. So what do you do once a wedding client actually books you as their photographer? Maybe their wedding's a year out. What do you do all year? What does that process look like? How do you stay really organized? That's what we're gonna talk about in this video. Okay, so there are two things that I do. So the first thing I do is I send them an email, and that initial email has a lot of information, but mainly it has two things that you should know. So the first thing it has is something of value that reassures them that they chose the right photographer. So I like to send them a magazine that I wrote. It's just a PDF document that they can open up, and it walks them through how to set up their wedding day for success, timelines, everything. It's about 50 pages. It's super valuable. So all my couples swear by it. I actually made it into a template. If you're interested in buying one, you can do that in the link down below in the description. But either way, I think just sending something of value to reassure the client that they made the right decision is huge. Okay, so the second thing that's in that email is a questionnaire that's called the new client form. It's just a questionnaire I made in Honeybook, and it talks about all the different things just about them, not about the wedding. So I have a different questionnaire that I send later, closer to the wedding, but this is just a new client form, and it just talks about them, what's their address, what's their Instagram, their favorite things to do. And then I ask questions about them as a couple. How did you meet? Where do you guys do for fun? What do you guys do for work? All of these questions that are going to be really helpful for me to start conversations at their engagement session. So it's not so much a logistical questionnaire as it is a questionnaire for me to have a conversation with the client and know, a little bit more just about them. So the second thing I do is I actually add them to this Google Sheet document that I made to keep track of all of my weddings. I swear by Honeybook. My business would die without Honeybook, and I have a whole playlist here on YouTube about how to use Honeybook as a wedding photographer, but also I use a Google Sheet, and the two together, you guys, is the best way to run your business, because Honeybook is great in that it has workflows and projects and proposals and all these different features, but one area that I actually feel like it lacks in is creating an overall picture of your year, if that makes sense, that's not calendar form. So I'm going to show you the document that I made in Google Sheets. I'm going to show you that now, and you can also get this document in the link down below. It's totally free. You can just create a duplicate copy so that you can use it in your business. So this is the Google Sheet document that I use for all of my weddings to keep in line with using a Honeybook. I found Honeybook to be great, but like I said, it's not enough to just have a good overarching view of all of your clientele for the year. So the way I use this, and this is also not my exact document, I repopulated this with new names, new pricing, so this is not my client's information. This is just so I can show you how to use this. But basically, you'll want to make a copy of this whole document, and then when you do book a wedding, what you'll do is you'll come in here and I put them in order of the wedding date, so you can just input it like that. Write the bride and groom's name, the package, the amount that they booked, and then over here you'll write the number of hours that they booked, so whether or not they booked an album and whether or not they have a second shooter, and their wedding date. So all of those things you can do right up front. And then like I said earlier, the first email that I'm sending them is a questionnaire in the email, and that asks them for their Instagram, all those like basic things about them. So that's what Q1 in means, questionnaire 1 in. Questionnaire 2 is the second questionnaire that I send about 30 days out from the wedding. So all that information you can kind of have up front. And then once Q1 is in, I should have their Instagram by then. So I'll say followed on Instagram ? Yes. So I try to follow all my clients on Instagram. And then pro tip, actually save one of their photos into a saved folder that says 2022 clients. And then like once a week I go in and go to their posts, like their posts. So I can remember, where my clients are on Instagram. I don't have to be scrolling all the time and still be engaging with their content. So pro tip. So that's kind of all of the things that you see here. And then over here, so this again Q2 won't happen until about 30 days out. So here you can populate just engagement session, location that they chose, engagement time. So in that first email, I do ask them also, when would you guys like to do your engagement photos? And then the way that they answer, I put engagement. If it's completed, it's completed. But if not, yes, in the time that they told me that they want to do it. So basically, I don't have to always be thinking who needs their engagement photos. I can just come here and say, okay, there's 4 people left this year. 2 of them want to do it in the spring, 1 in the summer, 1 doesn't know yet. So it's just a good way to not be so overwhelmed by 18 different couples trying to do 18 different engagement sessions. So I like to put engagement location, time, wedding location, city, state, all those things. That's all really helpful to have information on file. And then what I do over here is this is the workflow side. So these are all the things that need to happen for a wedding to be complete in my book, in my business. So wedding gallery needs to be delivered. If they ordered an album, it needs to be delivered. The vendor gallery needs to be sent. So in that second questionnaire that I send 30 days out, I ask for all the vendors' emails, and then I come in and I put it in this column here, like all their emails. And then once the gallery is done, I make a new gallery just for vendors that has the best images, and I send out the vendor gallery. Sometimes this step gets a little slacked off because it's like the last thing you do, right? Okay, and then at the same time, I ask for the vendor's Instagram so that when I send out the vendor gallery, I can write down, hey, here's all the Instagram people to tag. And then what I like to do just to keep my portfolio fresh and not have to go through a massive upload of like new photos for your like change your whole portfolio every year is after every wedding, I pick the best images, then I take those raw files and I put them into a Lightroom portfolio catalog and I just keep them there. So I don't have to go back through weddings at the end of every year and try to figure out the best ones. I just take the raw files out right when I'm like exporting the galleries, like the best ones, and put them into my Lightroom portfolio. And by taking the raw files, you can change your editing style, you can update things, but you never have to go back to that wedding again. And then I don't blog every single wedding, but if I am gonna blog it, I make a decision here, yes or no. And if it's yes, like, and it hasn't been blogged yet, I make it yellow again too. So that way, at the end of this workflow, everything that possibly needs to be done for this wedding is done, and nothing gets piled up or lost or confused. So it's just a great way for me to keep organized. And like I said, I just put like sample information in here so that you guys can see kind of how I use this, like other things, like if this is a Sunday or Monday wedding, I do write that in here. Sometimes they don't have Instagrams, just like things. Sometimes they didn't book an album, so you know there would be no album to deliver, but just it's also just helpful for like at the end of the wedding if I don't know if they booked an album or not, I don't have to reopen the proposal. I just come here and be like, okay, no, they didn't, so they don't need to design one with me, or I can pitch album sales. So this just really helped me across the board on all business processes. So totally free. Use my template. You can get it in the link down below. I want you guys to have this. If you want to just change everything, change everything. But you can get it in the link down below. So just head to the link in the description down below to grab that document if you're interested. But either way, I hope this helped you guys just lay out a little bit of organization in how I run my business, and hopefully gave you some ideas on how to run a little bit more organization in yours. So if you're new here, make sure to subscribe because I come out with new videos for photographers every single week, and I'd love if you left a comment and let me know your thoughts on this video, and I will see you guys later this week.